Got it? You want a visceral, first-person, high-retention, PG-rated narrative in George Blackman's urgent conversational voice, hitting each section exactly as specified. Here's the completed story in your required format. Hash the quantum farmer. Hook the shattering moment asterisk. They didn't just reject my paper, they laughed. The conference hall was still echoing with the sound when I stepped down from the podium, the kind of laughter that doesn't fade, the kind that follows you home, into your dreams, into the quiet moments when you're brushing your teeth. One senior agronomist leaned into the microphone and said, "Quantum agriculture is a fantasy. We deal with real science here." In that instant, every year I'd spent in research collapsed into rubble. I wasn't just wrong in their eyes, I was dangerous, a heretic contaminating their work, and as their applause for him roared louder than any I'd ever received, I realized my career in academia had just ended. But somewhere beneath the humiliation, a single thought burned bright: if they won't believe me, I'll make it so they can't ignore me. The painful departure and relentless pursuit asterisk. The next morning I cleared my desk. No farewell emails, no final coffee with colleagues. I walked out of the university with nothing but a box of notebooks and the haunting echo of their smirks. I found a small piece of land on the edge of nowhere, soil that had been declared unfit for serious farming. Perfect. If quantum principles could coax life from this dead earth, I'd have my proof. I worked alone, days blurred into nights, nights into months. I built my own lab from salvaged equipment. My office was a greenhouse wired into a quantum computing rig, a mess of cables and sensors tracking every photon, every fluctuation in the soil's subatomic dance. Neighbors called it the spaceship farm asterisk. Agronomists called it a waste of time, but I called it my last chance. The arduous ascension and profound triumph asterisk. There were seasons when nothing grew. When data streams flatlined and I sat in the dirt wondering if they were right. But then came the first miracle, tiny green shoots breaking through cracked soil, thriving in conditions that should have killed them. The quantum algorithms had optimized nutrient distribution down to the molecular level. By the third harvest, yields had tripled. By the fourth, the crops were surviving heat waves that crushed surrounding farms. Suddenly, climate scientists wanted my datasets, aid organizations wanted my methods, and the same journals that had refused to review my work were calling, asking for an interview. It wasn't just farming anymore, it was food security in a warming world. My fantasy had become a blueprint for survival. The cathartic return and poetic justice asterisk. The following year, I stood once again on that same conference stage. No trembling hands this time. I showed them the photographs, fields of green in regions where nothing had grown in decades. I showed them the numbers, quantum-enhanced yields feeding entire communities. The room was silent, no laughter. Just the weight of realization settling on the same faces that had once dismissed me. One of the senior agronomists rose to his feet and instead of a smirk offered a slow, deliberate applause. In that moment I didn't feel vindictive. I felt whole, because the truth is I hadn't come back to prove them wrong. I had come back to prove to myself, to the world, that impossible visions are just future realities waiting for someone stubborn enough to build them. If you'd like, I can also script this for optimal YouTube retention asterisk, with pacing cues, dramatic pauses, and emotional beats, so it keeps viewers hooked from second one to the final cathartic moment. Do you want me to do that next?